Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Prepare to be thrilled, scared, and entertained with spine-chilling and controversial trail cam footage you have never seen. Make it to the end, and you'll be proud of yourself for accomplishing a feat many could only dream of. Without wasting much time, we kick off today's video with a strange but exciting bit of footage. In the clip, we catch a glimpse of a family enjoying a day out in the woods, possibly on a camping trip. The father is most likely teaching his sons to fish, and it looks like your classic family's day out. That is, until the father turns his gaze toward the person behind the camera, his face displaying a perplexed expression. His eyes fixate on the bushes, and the person behind the camera, likely the mother of the boys, instinctively follows his gaze, momentarily shifting the camera's focus. Based on the look the father is wearing, it's evident that there might be something or someone out there in the bushes. At first, due to the poor quality and camera shake, it's hard to make out any details, but once you stabilize the footage and slow it down, you see why the man looks so alarmed. There's something or someone out there. And no, it's not a dog or a wolf or a bear. It looks human and walks like one. But given how dark it is all over, I'm tempted to believe that it has fur all over its body. Also, if you look closely, you'll realize it's hunched a little, which is reminiscent of a Bigfoot, if you ask me. Could they have actually seen a Bigfoot? If it's indeed a Bigfoot, why was it stalking them? Share your thoughts. For our next footage, we visit Fairfield, Ohio. I know you spotted the man running in the first few seconds of the clip, but trust me, it's not due to an earthquake or thieves on his tail. No, it's something much more ominous and sinister. Listen. Did you hear it? This guy has been hearing these spine-chilling sounds emanating from the woods, and he has no clue what they are. As the sounds grew louder and more terrifying, he made up his mind to gather some evidence. When the sounds resumed, he hurriedly dashed outside, hence why you catch a glimpse of him running. He insists those sounds were way more bone-chilling and nerve-wracking than they come across on record, and you know what? We believe him. One question remains. What was making that sound? The uploader of the footage believes it's a Bigfoot. What say you? Would you chase down Bigfoot if you ever saw him? If you answered no, then clearly you haven't seen this clip. A man was out with his family when, out of nowhere, he spotted an ape-like creature strolling down the street. It was brief, but it was enough for the man to know that his family was in danger. He quickly asked them to go inside, but instead of joining them, he pursues the creature into the bushes. The creature desperately attempts to flee from him. It swiftly dashes through the bushes, emanating peculiar vocalizations. It seems as if it were issuing a warning, compelling the man to keep his distance. The man persists in pursuit until the creature abruptly halts its sprint. Once it stops running, it starts pacing up and down with more aggressive vocalizations. It was almost as though the creature was contemplating whether to attack or stay away. While this was ongoing, the man realizes the creature was not as small as it looked from the distance. Now that he could see it up close, he realizes that it was at least 7 foot tall and had fur all around. Although it looked like an ape, minus its giant size, it moved like a man. At that moment, a light bulb went off in his head, as you can see in cartoons. He realized that he'd been chasing a Bigfoot. That sudden realization made him back off, and thankfully the creature was not interested in harming him. He might just be one of the luckiest men in the world. Have you ever had that feeling that someone was watching you from the darkness? Well, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how the fox in the trail cam footage you are seeing now felt. The fox was leisurely exploring its environment when, all of a sudden, it came to a halt. Its gaze was fixated on the trees as if sensing a presence lurking within the bushes. At first glance, you see nothing, but once you carefully look in the direction of its gaze, you see it. There's something out there. We see two eyes dazzling with light looking at the fox. The fox is supposed to be a predator, but it looks like it's about to become prey. This mysterious entity looms larger than the fox, seemingly having stalked it unnoticed for quite some time. It's hard for us to say exactly what it is, but what do you think it is? Is it merely another wild animal with a predatory interest in the fox, or are we gazing upon an otherworldly creature? Share your thoughts in the comments section. For our next footage, we travel back in time to the Tatra Mountains of Poland in 2009. A group of friends were exploring the mountains and filming the experience when they saw what looked like a large man or a creature in the snow quite a distance from them. Shocked, they zoomed in trying to make out who or what and how they made it to such a remote part of the mountains. When the video was uploaded online, there was a frenzy in the paranormal community. Unbeknownst to the hikers, their recording had captured an elusive Bigfoot. It was inconceivable for a large man to be traversing such a remote and frigid expanse without proper winter attire. The creature or person they saw had nothing of that sort on. The community concluded that the black overall was simply fur and that the carefree nature of the creature simply meant it lived there. Although Poland isn't commonly associated with Bigfoot sightings, could this be the first Bigfoot sighting in Poland? Tell us what you think. Now tell me, what do you see? A bear, an ape, or an amalgamation of the two? It's not so easy, is it? At first glance, it appears to have a bear's face, but its body proportions defy those of a bear. In fact, they bear a striking resemblance to those of an ape. But here's the twist. Upon closer inspection, you notice that despite the ape-like proportions, the creature moves with a human-like gait, upright on 2 feet. Could this be a Bigfoot? However, based on our current knowledge, Bigfoots don't possess a bear-like visage. It's typically ape-like or more human-like, meaning it could be. What about the legendary Dogman or Wolfman? While the concept of a dogman seems plausible, the notion of a wolfman raises more questions. Given its canine characteristics, it's understandable that it might resemble either of these bipedal entities. But what do you think? Is it a dogman, wolfman, or an entirely new cryptid we have never seen? Is it real at all? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have this footage from 2012. The video was recorded by a man who kept seeing a young ghost girl in the woods close to his home. Perplexed by the reoccurring encounters with the ghostly girl, he decided to record her, unsure if capturing a ghost on camera was even possible or if the ghost would reveal herself. During the initial moments of the footage, there's nothing apparent. However, keep a close eye on the left side of the screen, and you might catch a glimpse. Did you see it? It's faint, but a little girl runs out of frame at the left side of the screen. She appears from behind the tree and quickly runs off. In contrast to numerous online ghost videos featuring exaggerated apparitions, this one maintains a subtlety that lends its authenticity. And you know what? It makes me think this could be the real deal. But what do you think? Next, we have a strange and eerie-looking video. In this clip, we see a young lady and a young man going through the woods and laughing. Given how the young lady laughs and looks at the young man filming their time in the woods, I would not be surprised if they were together. Taking a closer look at the footage, it either looks like the lady is topless or she's got a very small top on. It's hard to tell because of the quality of the clip. Not to jump to conclusions, but perhaps they had something naughty planned. Whatever the case, they won't see it come to fruition. A very short creature appears from nowhere and starts to move in their direction. The creature, however, seems particularly interested in the girl. She, on the other hand, is amused seeing this ape-like short and, for a lack of better words, ugly creature taking an interest in her. She approaches it, and then it launches at her. At that moment, she starts running from it, and so does the cameraman. But what is that? Initially, we had no idea, but after reviewing local folklore for where the footage was taken, we realize it's called a Pomero. It's a very small cryptid that's said to go after naughty girls. It kisses them and sometimes gets intimate with them. Given what the lady is wearing and where they are, perhaps they had a naughty agenda planned, which may have lured Don Pomero out. But what do you think? Next, we have this creepy clip that's not exactly from the wild, but offers a similar thrill, if not more. In the clip, we see a woman call out to her pet dog who is laying down staring at something out of frame. The one recording the footage is obviously curious and tries to see what has her dog's attention. She walks in and is met with these weird-looking eyes staring from the darkness. She almost immediately gasps and then retreats. One question remains. What is that creature? The one who recorded and uploaded the video believes it could be some type of cryptid, and given the bizarre circumstances, that's not impossible, but we have watched the footage over and over and can't help but feel it might be a cat or a raccoon or some other small creature. A closer look, and it looks like the creature is sitting on something. What do you see, though? For our next footage, I think it'd be best if you saw it before you heard anything I had to say. Did you see that? What do you make of it? The individuals behind the camera believe they captured a sighting of a Skinwalker. Now, let's delve into the analysis. The video begins with a group of young men capturing a breathtaking landscape on camera. It appears they were on a hike, trek, or camping expedition, eager to document the beauty surrounding them. Their peaceful recording is abruptly disrupted when an individual dashes into the frame only to vanish just as quickly. At first glance, it may not seem out of the ordinary, but upon closer inspection, you'll notice something unsettling about the man's appearance. His arms are of unnatural proportions, and he runs a little hunched across the screen. It's no surprise that the young man suspected could be a Skinwalker. But is it, though? Opinions within the paranormal community are divided, with some believing it's a Skinwalker, while others remain skeptical. They find it hard to believe. After all, how could they conveniently be filming at the exact spot where the Skinwalker appeared, seemingly out of nowhere, and managed to capture it on camera? But what do you think? Is this a genuine case of a Skinwalker, or do you smell an elaborate hoax? Share your thoughts with us. Next, we have this scary and, quite frankly, spine-chilling video that we have failed to come up with an explanation for. In this footage, you won't believe what we've stumbled upon. A bizarre creature that gives me serious Gollum vibes from Lord of the Rings. The creature is bald and seems to be devouring something on the ground. There's no telling what, but it notices the one filming and stares sharply in his direction. The video ends there. What do you think that is? We had to go through our list of cryptids and paranormal creatures, yet found nothing that remotely looked like or acted like this creature. Could it be a creature of the night that had escaped the Netherrealm into ours? Could it be, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, a demon? Now, before you dismiss this notion, remember that while the existence of such creatures cannot be scientifically proven, neither can they be disproven. Is this one of them, though? Well, it's hard to say. The footage could be the result of an elaborate hoax. It could also be a fake. Can we say for certain what it is? No, we can't. But as always, what do you think? Next, we take a trip to a creepy inn in England. Wow, that's quite a mouthful. Anyway, back to our clip. Would you visit a place that has a reputation for being creepy and weird with a lot of unexplained paranormal occurrences? If you answered no, you are not alone, but such an answer would be unacceptable for the individuals responsible for the clip. They decided to visit the ancient Ram Inn knowing perfectly well that the place was well known for creepy occurrences. Once they were settled in, they decided to offload their bags and set up a camera in hopes of capturing a paranormal occurrence on camera. It didn't take too long, however, as their camera bag started to move by itself once they were almost done setting up their camera. Luckily, the camera was already rolling and we managed to capture the entire incident on film. If you pay attention to the audio, you'll hear a woman's startled remarks. Personally, I don't see why they're shocked because they signed up for it. Take it from this footage. Before choosing your next inn or hotel, make sure you do your homework. Those funny stories you've heard about a place, unless you're actively seeking thrills, it's best not to randomly choose a place to spend the night during your trip. Who knows what horrors you may encounter? You have been warned. Next, we have another capture of the dog-man-wolf-man creature we shared earlier. This was received separately, albeit from the same location. I can't help but think it might actually be a never-before-seen type of cryptid. The increasing number of captures suggests that these creatures might be multiplying or that our presence in their territory is more frequent than ever before. What are your thoughts? This was supposed to be trail cam capture of foxes and other small predators. Instead, it ended up being something more. If you carefully pay attention to the footage playing, you'd realize that aside from the canine we see in the foreground, there were two sets of eyes that appeared and then disappeared in an unnatural and eerie way. Did you catch that? What do you think it is? Could it be just another predator stalking the fox, or is there a night creature out there hiding from the camera? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Now we visit a country we haven't been to before, Costa Rica. While this sounds like a tropical paradise, do not be deceived. There are creatures that lurk in the dark. Don't believe me? Watch this footage. Did you see that? In the footage, we hear and see the dogs barking. While you might be tempted to think it's normal dog behavior, you realize it's not when you pay attention to the footage. The dogs are not just barking for the sake of it. Instead, they seem to be barking at something in the dark. Whatever it is, it soon shows itself in the dark and walks or crawls or whatever it's doing into the frame. Not only is this creature weird looking, but it also moves weirdly. What could it be? It's hard to say. I mean, have you ever seen anything like it? It's like a bizarre blend of spider and crab, judging by its movements and appearance. The creature is so odd that I was tempted to think it's a fake. That was until we came across a different angle of the same footage on TikTok. This one was taken by individuals and not a security cam. Even though we can't comprehend their words, one thing is clear. It's the same street and the creature is lurking in the far distance. Does that mean the footage is real? We'll leave that up to you to judge. Disclaimer, this next capture may be the most disturbing on our list. If you don't have the stomach for it, you might want to skip ahead by 30 seconds. If you can hear me, then you decided to listen, but I pray this does not become a thing you end up regretting. For our next trail camp, we travel all the way to Canada, not for the cold weather, but for the cold-hearted woman you see in the capture. Yes, those are naked women feasting on a dead deer. The one who captured this had set up a trail camera near the carcass of a deer in hopes of capturing predators feasting on it. Little did she expect that instead of predators, two partially naked women would emerge from the darkness to partake in the feast. Could they be witches simply having their dinner, or could there be something more sinister happening here? Perhaps an initiation or ritual to a cult. No one knows, but the story and footage have spooked all who have heard it. Are you one of those? Stepping away from that dark and quite frankly very disturbing footage, we have this rare capture of a Bigfoot that was even featured on TV in 2014. Just like all other Bigfoot captures, this creature has an ape-like body yet a very human-like gait. Unlike other Bigfoot footage, this capture is remarkably close to the camera, providing a more detailed, albeit blurry view. As we can see from the capture, the creature moves quickly, but we get a good look at its body. It doesn't look like a suit, and neither does it look like CGI. Considering the technological limitations of the time, CGI would have been incredibly challenging. Moreover, the positioning of shadows and other details in the footage appears to be consistent. The paranormal community and even some non-believers believe this is the real deal. What do you think? Next, we have another Bigfoot capture from the Washington Peninsula. This is a more recent capture that is as recent as either 2021 or 2022. In the capture, we see an ape-like creature moving through the woods. You don't need me to tell you at this time that it has a human-like gait as well, but it does. Before you throw this out of the window and disprove it, the uploader added more details, including having seen it multiple times and heard it talk. Yes, you heard me right. They heard the creature talk, although he can't confirm the words were intelligible. He went back to the same area and found these large footprints. Yes, you don't need me to tell you they belong to the Bigfoot. It's literally in the name. Not only were they large, but deep too, to show that the creature was quite heavy. He went back again when it started snowing and found these footprints. These were found 10 miles from the Canadian border, which should tell you how dedicated the man was to finding Bigfoot. These discoveries suggest that Bigfoot is more mobile than we once believed, unless, of course, there are multiple creatures roaming the Washington area. What do you think, though? A profound find or a questionable one? Our final video for the day is another Bigfoot. The footage was captured in the woods and shows an ape-like creature casually moving through the woods. Unlike the other Bigfoot footage seen, this one is a bit controversial to me. The dark fur looks like a coat or suit, and the being moves like a human with human body proportions. What do you think though, real or fake? Tell us in the comments section. And that concludes it for today. See you in the next video.